Well, Kelly's Court is back in session with breaking news on a child star, now a Tinseltown train wreck. Lindsay Lohan's father, Michael, telling TMZ that he is en route to his attorney's office now, set to file for conservatorship of his daughter Lindsay's affairs. Lindsay reportedly banned from yet another swanky Hollywood nightclub, accused of hurling a glass at her ex-girlfriend. Meantime, Michael Lohan, the father, says that he is also now frightened for his other daughter, Allie, here on screen right, said to be living with Long Island's problem child.
When I heard that Allie was out here again with Lindsay, and Allie being a minor and being exposed to the elements that she is with Lindsay and the parties in Coachella, and then I got a phone call from a friend of mine that was at Coachella actually following them back, and they said that whoever was driving Lindsay's car was doing over 115 miles an hour with Allie in it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Well, the biggest problem for Michael Lohan right now, his own life is nothing short of a daytime drama. So who do we believe here, and what are a parent's rights when you have an adult child who has spun out of control? Let's ask our panel, Fox News legal analyst Arthur Aidala and defense attorney Mark Eiglarsh. All right, gentlemen, so this has gotten just as messy as it can. Lindsay Lohan now banned from all these clubs because she's behaving so badly. She's got a 16-year-old younger sister who's apparently living with her. The father says she's a complete train wreck. She's just been fired from her latest motion picture. They say either for bad behavior or because she's not bankable anymore. They say she's $600,000 in debt, according to one report we read online. And on it goes. So, Arthur, I ask you, does this father, who's got some problems of his own, have the right to go into court and take control of her estate?
Well, my understanding regarding the younger daughter, which is Allie, is that the mom has actually custody of Allie.
Right.
And if I'm the Lohan family right now, you know you have one very problem child. You have to concentrate on saving the other child. I mean, and it seems like that's where his motivation is. He said the straw that broke the camel's back was his daughter was in a car with 150, that was going 115 miles an hour. So do I think this father has standing at the very least to go into a family court and say, listen, my wife is not my ex-wife is not protecting our youngest daughter from the ills of her, looks like drug-addicted older sister, and we need a separation between those two siblings, at least until our younger daughter's old enough to make her own decisions.
Mark, can he go into a court and say, number one, I'm worried about the younger daughter, and my ex-wife who's got custody is not watching her, my problematic other daughter, Lindsay, is, and number two, I'm worried about Lindsay?
He can. I think he'll be unsuccessful. First, regarding Lindsay, it is her right if she wants to screw up her life and do drugs and do whatever she wants. That's her choice. Regarding Allie, it's something different. He has a right to go into court and argue that somehow she is in imminent danger because of her association with her big sister. Now, he did that April 22nd, according to an article that I read just last week, and deputies went in and they spoke with Allie. And after investigating, they said, okay, see you later, no problem, and they left. So obviously, being around a sister that somehow isn't the strongest choice for the little sister isn't necessarily a crime and doesn't put her into immediate danger that needs somehow some significant adjustment.
All right, well, back on the topic of Lindsay, though, because I think a lot of parents have concerns about this. When you have a child who reaches the age of majority, she's 23 years old now, so she's an adult, Lindsay is. But, I mean, we've seen so many pictures of her in the tabloids, Arthur, falling down, reportedly drunk, reportedly on drugs. And now I read again that she has 3 aborted rehab stints, $600,000 in debt, has no roles lined up, and reportedly spends days sleeping and nights partying. And now we hear this from the father about when he went over there with the police to check on the condition. This is what he says he found. Take a listen.
She was caught by surprise, literally. She had just woken up, I would imagine. Allie was the first one to pop her head through the door. And then I went back to the bedroom, and Lindsay was still sitting on the mattress on the floor. And she got up and said, Dad, what are you doing here? And I said, I'm here with the sheriff's department. I want to make sure Allie's all right. She said, what are you doing? Get out, get out. And then from there, it just became a haze.
Yeah, he says she's in a permanent haze. So can he do anything, Arthur?
Well, the way I look at this, I analyze this, is if she was, instead of being a 21, 25, or rock star, movie star, she was his 81-year-old mom, who was and had the financial resources to do whatever she needed or to get herself in debt. he could step in, and in New York you call it a guardianship, and in California it's a conservator, to step in and tell the court, listen, this person does not have the mental capacity to make these kinds of decisions. And there are two kinds. You could say, Judge, just let me be in charge of her everyday beings and appoint somebody else to take care of the money. So you show he's not after the money, he's just after the best interest of his daughter.
Well, that's the other thing, Mark. There are some serious questions about this dad.
Seriously, I mean, he's going to walk into court with his Father of the Year trophy? I mean, this guy, trying to figure out which Lohan is the most screwed up is like trying to figure out which Octomom child is going to be in therapy first. It's very, very difficult, Megan. I think that there's a problem in proving what he's alleging.
Well, and Lindsay Lohan has sent out a tweet on Twitter calling him a pathological liar. She says, when will this ever end? It's been going on my whole life with him. Hasn't he caused enough pain? The mother says he's a real problem and not to be trusted. So there's a real question about who to believe here. And you got to wonder when the guy goes to TMZ to talk about his problems as opposed to directly to the lawyer in the court. That raises some questions, some red flags. All right, Arthur, Mark, thanks so much. One final word for our viewers. Of course, it is possible to involve the courts when a family member is imploding. They can help protect a person's estate, or in this case, a minor who's in the care of the troubled person, if necessary. But this father is perhaps not to be trusted. Why? Why is he going on TMZ to make his case? His behavior suggests that he is more interested in fame than perhaps in his daughter's well-being. Maybe the courts can resolve this, and once and for all, we will finally find out who is the truth teller in this mess. We'll be right back.